Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, I am finally reviewing one show on Disney Plus that I've been meaning to watch and review. Yes, I'm of course reviewing the Willow series. Yes, as of this recording, I got to watch the entire show, like, literally, all 8 episodes in one day. Earlier in the day and in the evening. So, I mean, they are long episodes. So, anyways. So first, I'll read the description / the story. 20 years after the vanquishing of the wicked queen, Bavmorda, yeah, I hope I still got that name right, the sorcerer Willow, Ufgood, yeah, his last name, yeah, leads a group of misfits on a dangerous rescue mission into the unknown. Yeah, so the first things I have to say about the Willow series. Well, to be completely honest, I actually thought this was pretty good. Like, not bad, I should say. I get it, and I understand that, unfortunately, this show did not receive very well, I mean, I have no doubt that when the trailers came out for the Willow series, because it looked like it was going to be pretty good, with what was going on, but when it came out and with the episodes, like, people were just, they were complaining and just saying how awful this was. But, come on, like, I have no doubt that there are some people like myself that thought this was okay. I have no doubt about that. And let's face it, the Willow movie that came out, when it came out, it wasn't received that well either. I mean, it wasn't big like, say, well, how Star Wars and Indiana Jones became, and especially in pop culture. Even Ron Howard admitted that. So, yeah. But of course, it had its fans. The movie had its fans, and, even Warwick Davis himself, he wanted there to be a sequel to Willow. And technically, the Willow series being a sequel. That's happened before, so, But yeah, so basically, because the whole adventure in the show, during all 8 episodes, because basically, with the cast of characters, we have Mad Monaghan and Queen Sorsha's kids, Eric and Kit, and Kit being played by Ruby Cruz, and Eric being played by Dempsey Brike, if I'm saying his last name right, yeah. And speaking of Mad Monaghan, Val Kilmer, who played Mad Monaghan in the Willow film, it was said that he was going to appear in the Willow series, reprising the role of Mad Monaghan, but unfortunately, he was unable to participate, and, some changes were made to the show and, the character of Mad Monaghan, because, he ran off and, like, apparently, because it's believed by some of the characters that, he abandoned his family and such, but no, he was, like, doing the right thing and for the love for his daughter and his family, stuff like that, And actually, we do hear Mad Monaghan's voice, but it's Mad Monaghan's son that provides the voice. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Because when I heard Mad Monaghan's voice and the fact that it was his son, like, that was a spot-on good voice, like, sounding like his father. So I'm just saying. And some of the other characters, like, Allura, because, in the Willow movie, Allura, as a baby, and the evil queen, needed Allura, because of her evil doings, as we all know in the movie. And Allura, now all grown up, being played by Ellie Bamber. I think I got the last name right. So, you know me with pronouncing last names. And I think, because, yeah, Allura is to be betrothed, I want to say, I think. Or I think it's, it might be both her and Kit, you know, and one of them to be betrothed with Graydon, played by Tony Revolori, if I'm saying his last name right, too. Flash in the Spider-Man films, yes, that's him. So, yeah. And Kit, her love interest that, you know, she, of course, wants to be with is Kit Clamore, played by Erin Kellyman. And, yeah, Erin Kellyman from Solo, A Star Wars Story, and The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, that's her. So, nice for her doing something else, you know, Lucasfilm material, you know. And also, there was, you know, the goofball of the show and the goofball of the group, Thraxus Borman, played by Amar Chadha Patel. I think I did get his full name right. Yeah, so I could tell right away because his character, Thraxus, you know, he's the goofball, but sometimes, you know, he's there for, you know, the group and helping out and so on. And, of course, Willow Ufgood, once again played by Warwick Davis. You know, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the characters in this show. And of course, you know, with Warwick Davis, Joanne Wally, if I'm saying her last name right, she reprises the role of Queen Sorsha. And, yeah, because it was good seeing them again. And, you know, they're still good as their characters. I think even at one point because Willow, she wanted to, like, have Allura be his apprentice, but of course, you know, Queen Sorsha wouldn't allow it. There's a lot of, like, flashback stuff in this, and they did a pretty good job, like, inserting footage from the Willow series in the show. Yeah, the people at ILM, I tell you, you know, they do their magic. Industrial Light and Magic. There you go. Also, another familiar face that came back in one episode, that was Rule. You know, the two, in the Willow movie, the two, like, small characters, you know, that, you know, tag along with Willow and Mad Modigan. Rule was once again played by Kevin Pollak. Yeah, so only Rule came back, and the other little guy, I think it was established that he died, I want to say. Yeah. Yeah, and all 8 episodes, you know, as I said, I think the show was pretty good and okay, fine, and I thought all 8 episodes were fine. I think my favorite one, probably out of all of them, would have to be, say, Whispers of the Nockmaar, because they go back to the castle of Nockmaar, you know, in the Willow movie. Yeah, it's really nice because they go back to different locations, to some locations, I should say, that we saw in the Willow movie, and, you know, like, behind the scenes, like, the people, like, doing a good job, like, you know, making them, like, exactly as how they appeared, you know? In fact, you know, some of the like, sets, like the castle, like, you look at the original Willow film, that part of that was a matte painting. They don't do that anymore in movies. I don't know. Would they still, like, maybe occasionally, I don't know. It would depend, it would depend on a movie, so, you know, if they want to do that. And also, one big-time named actor, you know, who was said to appear in Willow, yeah, because, you know, I had a feeling as I was watching the show that he would most likely appear in a later episode and would join them. But yeah, he does. He does appear a little bit later in the show in episode 6, Prisoners of Skellen, and that being Christian Slater. Yeah, Christian Slater in the Willow series, playing Allagash. I think I got that right. And it turns out that Christian Slater's character had fought alongside with Mad Modigan. And especially both Allagash and Thraxus they know each other. So, you know, they kind of have, like, what? You know, a fight greeting or something. They kind of go at it at each other. Like, it's their way of, like, saying, hey, how have you been? I guess, you know. Yeah. Okay, so Madmartigan, and if I've pronounced the character's name wrong at times, I'm sorry. Madmartigan, because his son, Val Kilmer's son, Jack Kilmer, that's right. See, I was thinking of, I think, Jack or John, but it's Jack Kilmer. So as I said, like, Jack Kilmer voicing Madmartigan, again, spot on, sounding just like his father. Oh my gosh, and in episode 6, Danny Woodburn had a role in that episode. And by the way, some characters that are in the show do sadly die. Like, you know, one character that joined the group to find Willow, that was, I think, I want to say, yeah, it was, oh, I don't know. It was an old guy, but, you know, I think it was probably him, yeah. Jorgen Cass, played by Simon Armstrong, yeah. Because, you know, he had, yeah, it's him, I believe it's him, yeah. Like, he was at first joining the group to find Willow, but, you know, he flat out got killed by, you know, the creatures, and, basically, another thing is, like, with Eric, because Eric, they're finding Eric, and he was captured by the crone. There's the crone, and there's this thing called the worm. No, not spelled with a W-O-R-M. It's different, like, I think it's W-Y-R-M, yeah. I think, like, the worm is supposed to be, like a gateway or something, you know, with these fantasies happening for our characters. And another character that joins Willow and the group, you know, one of Willow's people, Silas, I think I got the character's name right, played by Graham Hughes, and yeah, he too sadly gets killed. Like, that was weird. Like, I'm like, he didn't get like stabbed or anything. Like, he was like force pushed and like hit a wall, like, you know, on the ground and stuff like that, you know, a hill, basically. And that's how he died? Okay. And also, another character that sadly gets killed, and it's somebody that Jade knew, and I think he took her under his wing and trained her, you know, of fighting with a sword, etc. That being Commander Ballantine, played by Ralph Ineson, if I am saying his last name right. Because at one point, Queen Sorsha sent him out to go find Allura, and at one point, because, yeah, the attack that happens at the kingdom, and when Eric, you know, was captured, he at one point, I think, got bitten or scratched, and it starts to affect him, and, like, he gets possessed and such, obviously, by the crone's doing. And, you know, just hunting down and to bring Allura to the crone. Yeah, even at one point, Allura, like, I think was, like, running away at one point, and she stumbled upon these two farmer ladies, like, okay, and, they, of course, are willing to help out Allura, even after Allura gives them the whole, like, backstory of who she is and so on. In fact, not to mention, Allura's name was kept secret by everybody in the kingdom. You know, she went by a different name until it was revealed who she truly was. You know, the child, you know, in the Willow movie, as we all know. So, yeah. And I expected, yeah, I saw it coming, you know, the two farmer ladies being killed. But coming back to Christian Slater's character, Allagish, in episode 6, and also because in this, we get appearances of trolls, and I gotta say, the trolls in this episode were interesting because of the way they spoke, you know, generic, I guess you could say, if that's the correct word I'm looking for, but, yeah. So, like, it's a shame because Christian Slater is just in this one episode. Like, you know, you think he'd join throughout the rest of the show for the last 2 episodes, but no. His character, Allagish, you know, sacrifices himself, and yeah. But I think it was a pretty good episode, and, you know, the energy that Christian Slater gives. I mean, you know, who doesn't like Christian Slater? He's such a good actor, so. And also, what goes on with Eric, because we see where he ends up, where he was taken, and he, like, takes a long walk to where he's supposed to go, which is where the worm is located and the crone, and he, at one point, encounters a girl named Lily, played by Rosabelle Lorente Sellers. Yeah, I think I got the whole name right. And, you know, I think at one point, because, yeah, Lily has feelings for Eric, but Eric's feelings are for Alora. And basically turns out that, you know, spoiler alert, that Lily is manipulating and tricking Eric, and she is actually the crone in disguise. Yeah, so there's that. And also, I didn't realize that Julian Glover, who had, you know, worked with Lucasfilm many times, you know, in Star Wars and Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, yeah. He appears in this, and he plays a character named Zeb. I think it's that one old man, like, who, you know, is, like having them buy their, like, a boat that he has. Like, yeah, I think that's him. So, yeah, good for him, like, doing something else, you know, from Lucasfilm. So, yeah. But anyways, so also, like, you know, the Willow series, I thought it did have some pretty good emotional moments and some funny moments. I did laugh at some of the funny moments, and, you know, because at one point, like one funny moment that I can think of is where I think they're having meat for dinner, like pigs, I want to say, and Willow mentioning what happened in the first movie where, you know, the evil queen turned, you know, Mad Monaghan and all the other, you know, men into pigs, you know, and Willow transformed them back into themselves, you know, and, like, Willow was asked if, you know, he turned all of them back into humans, you know, and he's like, you know, yes, I did, and just to be sure, like, they set the food aside. That was pretty funny. But obviously, you know, he did turn them all back into themselves, you know, but that's what's funny, so, you know. And the emotional stuff, like, you know, stuff that goes on throughout the show, like, you know, moments between Kit and Jade, you know, they have their bickering moments and such, and how Graydon feels about Alora and Willow, because, you know, he has, like, dreams, and, like, one dream is, you know, his daughter, you know, like, her daughter and her people doom, Mims, I think, yeah, that's Willow's daughter, and actually, Willow's daughter is played by Warwick Davis's actual daughter, Annabelle Davis. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty good. You know, not to mention, Warwick Davis's actual son played Wicket the Ewok's son, you know, in The Rise of Skywalker. So that's really cool. Sometimes, you know, in movies or TV, like, actual, you know, parents, you know, like, you know, playing father, son, mother, you get my point. Yeah, and the climax at the end of Willow, I thought was pretty good too, because, you know, Eric, you know, he's following under Crone's spell, and at one point, Alora and Kit, you know, they go into the worm, and it's a whole fantasy, and Queen Sorsha there, you know, telling Kit to, I think, you know, follow her dreams and adventures, you know, and Alora to be married to Eric, although, you know, that's not really Eric, and of course, you know, Alora being manipulated, of course, both her and Kit, and at one point, I think it's, yeah, Alora that does hear, you know, Mardigan's voice and, you know, telling her, like, you know, to do what's right and such, you know, the whole, that kind of stuff. And, you know, of course, you know, with the fighting going on, and even because it seemed like Willow, a little bit earlier, Willow left them, you know, to go be with his people and his daughter, but, you know, he knew where his place was, to fight alongside with Allura. And thus, you know, all of them taking on Crone and, you know, the creatures, stuff like that. Even at one point, Kit and Jade, you know, fighting off against Eric, you know, because, well, you know, Crone manipulating Eric and, you know, Eric following under, you know, the Crone's demands and stuff like that. You get it. And, you know, Allura, like, here's the thing. Both Allura and Graydon, I don't know, like, I couldn't remember that Graydon, him too, both him and Allura, they're powerful sorcerers. And Willow, of course, being a powerful sorcerer. And, you know, the thing is, the characters, you know, telling Willow that he's the greatest sorcerer ever, and, you know, he even says that as well about himself, but, you know, he does admit that he's not the greatest sorcerer in the world. And I think, yeah, even at one point, Queen Sorsha in a flashback told him that too. And maybe he's not, but you know what? He is powerful. He just got lucky. You know, and if I remember correctly, that's what Willow said as well. Like, he said that he just got lucky. You know, he was a farmer that just happened to, at one point, become powerful and have magic in him. So, yeah. And of course, Allura does defeat the Crone. Gosh, even at one point, the Crone, I didn't see this coming. The Crone supposedly killed Graydon. And I was having a feeling that somebody, any one of those group of characters was going to die. Like, Thraxus seemed like that he was probably going to die. But no, nobody dies in Willow. None of the main characters. Not even Eric, because, you know, Allura trying, basically Allura and Kit trying to reach out to Eric. And it's really Kit, you know, because she is Eric's sister. Like, she seems to be the only one to reach out and save Eric. And of course, she successfully does so. And yeah, Eric is completely fine and well. And, yeah, and I would assume that for both Eric and Allura, they could finally be together. And he seemed to be unaware who Willow was. Like, did Queen Sorsha even bothered mentioning Willow to her children? I mean, because, I mean, the thing is, like, in one of the flashbacks, there was a fallout between both Sorsha and Willow, because as I mentioned earlier, Willow wanting to have Allura be his apprentice, but Sorsha wouldn't have that. So, yeah. I think, yeah, that does explain it. And even say, this was in this earlier in the show, that, like, this powerful, like, magical armor, you know, you put that, to put a device on, and it, like, you know, magic happens on a suit, and Kit at one point got that, you know, in the climax of the battle. And by the way, the creatures in, more about the creatures, like, they're pretty interesting. That's what's important, like, you know, new, like, and interesting creatures in fantasy, and one of them they were called were-rats. Well, you think, like, it would just be, like, a rat, look, you know, like, half rat, like, half werewolf, that have that kind of look. Kind of, but it's a two-headed were-rat. Okay, that's interesting. And as I mentioned, the trolls and all the other, like, interesting, like, hideous creatures. But anyways, but yeah, in the 8th and final episode, yeah, all ends well, and all of the main characters, along with Eric, you know, start, you know, heading back home, a long journey, walking back home. And the last scene that we get, as I said, supposedly the Crone killed Graydon, but no, he survived. He's in the worm, and Graydon encounters, he thinks that he encounters Allura, but no, it's not really Allura. It seems like, yeah, the crone has not been officially defeated, and the crone is, this time, manipulating Graydon. So, oh boy. And not to mention, if I remember correctly, because the whole thing with the crone being connected with Queen Bethmorda, yeah, I don't see why not, obviously. So, because, what Queen Bethmorda did, it continued on, and thus in the Willow series. So yeah, there you go. Also, not only am I reviewing the Willow series, yes, as you read the title of this review, I'm also reviewing Willow Behind the Magic. Yeah, because why not? Yeah. So I'll go ahead and read the description. Featuring the series, breakout stars, and returning legends, going behind the scenes for an in-depth look at the making of the hit original series. So yeah, this too was pretty good. A short documentary behind the scenes of the Willow series. Because, how much, the cast, talking about, doing the Willow series, and of course talking about, the movie, and how, I think, because, yeah, both Warwick and George Lucas, wanting to do more Willow, and I think because someone established that George Lucas wanted it to be like a TV series or something, and when Disney Plus happened, that's when the opportunity came to do a Willow series. Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty funny in Willow Behind the Magic, the cast talking about Warwick and how he can be, I guess, difficult at times. And also, I think, yeah, this was for laughs. A heated battle between Christian Slater and Warwick Davis, that had been going on for years. And Warwick having ideas for sequels to Willow, and how, Christian Slater did one movie that, took an idea that Warwick had, I think, for one of the Willow sequels. Again, I can tell it's for laughs, so, just saying. I think it's obvious, since when has there been a heated battle between both Christian Slater and Warwick Davis? And yeah. And, I just love it because, especially, when it came up to, the cast filming their final shots for the Willow series, and this was very sweet and nice of them to say that, that they felt that, the cast and crew, they were family to them. Yeah, very sweet. And yeah, another thing is, it's sad because, as we all know, the Willow series being canceled, but apparently the writer of the show, Jonathan Kassadin, if I'm saying his last name right, he confirmed that the series is not canceled, and that there is apparently going to be a second season. It's been written and it's in development, and it says that, he also said that the series is on a hiatus for at least 1 year in order to allow the actors to pursue other projects. Which, okay, that's nice. Yeah, other projects that they're already participating in, and, once they're done with what they're doing, they can get back to doing the Willow series, Season 2. Well, who knows at this time? I wouldn't mind seeing a Season 2 of Willow. And what about you guys? Would you like to see a Willow Season 2? And if any of you have enjoyed the Willow series, again, I have no doubt that there are others that have enjoyed the Willow series, and I know that the Willow series is not the best, but, I'm sure that, they tried their best, and even in the behind the magic of Willow, you can tell, because they had a lot of fun doing this, and how much they were talking about, working on the Willow series. As I said, because I have no doubt about that. See, and, you know, I do feel, you know, sorry and I feel bad for the cast and crew because, you know, of how the Willow series had been received, you know, but who knows? You know, if a season 2 happens, maybe, you know, they've learned their mistakes from season 1 and, you know, they can do better. I'm honestly saying, okay? I'm just saying, so you know. And, okay, so how do I rate the Willow series? That's a good question. That's a very good question. Well, because of how much I've said that, you know, I've enjoyed the show and how I think it's not that bad and it's okay, you know, I'm giving this 6 out of 10 stars. Yeah, 6 out of 10 stars for the Willow series. And the same goes for Willow Behind the Magic. Yeah, don't want to leave that out. So again, what about you guys? What did you think of the Willow series itself? And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Willow series. More reviews coming your way. They're gonna be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. Take care, and until, hopefully, we get a season 2, peace out.